Welcome back to the Coaching Hive podcast. I am so thrilled that you're here with me. I cannot believe that we're already in week 2 of the Coaching Hive Blueprint discussion. Before we jump into today's topic, let's take a step back. I think it's helpful to remember where we are. And if you're just jumping into this series today, that's okay. I'm going to catch you up, and then you can always go back and listen to the previous episodes. So where we're at is we are currently going through the Coaching Hive Blueprint journey. And this is going to help you understand how to build a career that has you waking up feeling confident, excited, really energized and enthusiastic about the day, rather than kind of dreading the day and finding ways to procrastinate. My favorite way to procrastinate is to clean the oven. So you can always tell when I've been procrastinating, it's at its cleanest. And if I've been super productive, well, the oven's not so clean. But that's neither here nor there. So let's kind of get back on track. We talked about 2 weeks ago, we talked about the idea that in your coaching business, there are 2 big things you need to do. The first one is to make micro decisions every single day. Micro decisions are the small things that help us keep moving forward, not the big gargantuan ones, right? Those decisions, those are overwhelming. I'm talking about the little baby steps that we take every single day in our business or in our career. Just like you might coach a client to make small adjustments, think if they're adding exercise to their routine. You're not going to say, yeah, I think it's a great idea that you want to go out and walk for 2 hours a day when they've been sedentary, right? You're going to encourage them to break it down. Maybe just walk 10 minutes at first. That's what I'm talking about. No big gargantuan decisions. We're talking about these small micro decisions, a 10-minute walk, a 5-minute walk. That's it. Every single day. When you make micro decisions every single day in your business, what you're doing is taking action. You are going to move faster. You're going to move further than if you focus on the big gargantuan decisions. Those are hard to implement. The micro decisions, they're so much easier. So that was one of the big things that we talked about as being an underlying idea for our Coaching Hive journey that we're talking about. The second idea is that you actually need a blueprint to follow, because here's the thing, building a business feels hard, and that's because it is. There are lots of things to think about. But when you have a blueprint, everything gets just a little bit easier, because now you have a process to follow. You have a roadmap to follow. And that's where the Coaching Hive Blueprint comes into play. It gives you a journey for building your business, whatever that looks like. If it's you being a full-time entrepreneur, part-time entrepreneur, a coach with a side hustle who's working for another business and you're building your own business on the side, whatever it looks like, or even just as a full-time coach in an organization, you still need to have an idea of how your career is moving. And that's where having a blueprint helps. So those were the 2 big key points that we opened this Coaching Hive Blueprint series with. Make a micro decision every single day and follow through on it. And the second idea is to make sure that you have a blueprint. And I'm helping you with that and with your micro decisions. I'm offering you a micro decision each week with our podcast episode. So last week, we talked about stage number 1, step number 1 in that journey, which is your mindful vision. If you have not yet had a chance to craft that mindful vision, it's not too late. Go ahead, go back and listen to that episode. It's episode 66 on mindful vision. You'll also see, if you go back through some of the other Coaching Hive podcast episodes, you'll see some more information on that mindful vision where you can dig in a little bit further if you'd like. So in today's episode, we are going to take the next step in your journey. We're going to move to stage number 2, which is finding your daily rhythm. This is something that takes time. If you've been listening to the Coaching Hive podcast for any length of time, you know this is something that I worked with back in episodes 57 through 61 in our live mentoring series with Julie. Julie is just starting out as an entrepreneur, and she was really working to build her daily rhythm. So if you are ready to jump in, if you're ready to get started, grab that notebook, grab your tablet, whatever you're taking notes on today. grab a cup of water, a snack, whatever it is you need to stay focused. And if you're ready, with our theme of simplicity, clarity, and vision for 2022 in mind, let's jump in. I'm Dr. Maura, and this is the Coaching Hive podcast. All right, so we talked about briefly just a moment ago, this idea of the whole Coaching Hive blueprint being a journey. It is one in which we go through stages, just like the change process happens in segments. We move forward and backward a little bit. It's kind of a spiral staircase where we go up and down, right? The blueprint is designed in the same way. So last week we talked about the mindful vision, and this week we're talking about your daily rhythm. Does that mean you cannot go back to the vision? Absolutely not. In fact, just like most roads are two-way, this blueprint is two-way. You are going to find yourself going back to previous stages in the journey and clarifying, adjusting, modifying, or just saying, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I want. So as we get into this daily rhythm, maybe you notice that you need to make a few tweaks to your vision. Go ahead and do that. Now, what is a daily rhythm? A daily rhythm is a routine. It is a flexible, functioning daily routine that allows you to incorporate self-care, action, and really making decisions in your business. This is step number 2, or stage number 2 in the journey, because we need to get crystal clear early on that our career is critical. It's important. It deserves time in our daily schedule. And some of you may be thinking, I am so busy. And I hear you. I get it. As a homeschooling mom, a psych professor, and a business owner, I get it. It is tough some days to find time to dedicate to your business. But here's the thing. When you have a rhythm or a routine, that becomes easier. You start knowing that 15-minute chunk of time, or that 2-hour chunk that you set aside and you closed your door, guess what? It's there for you, and you know what to do, and you're going to make it work for you. So having a daily routine or a rhythm is going to help you make those micro decisions and stick to them. It's not just about having the stack of sticky notes on your desk of things to do. It's about actually putting them into action, taking that next step forward. Now, you might remember from the episodes where I was working with Julie on her daily rhythm that this is going to be an iterative process. If you come up with a daily flexible routine that works for you from day one, please let me know. I have never met anyone who's been able to do that. I certainly haven't been able to, and I would love to know your secret. So if you are able to come up with a daily routine that, man, it knocks it out of the park from day one, please reach out to me. I have got to have you on the podcast so you can share your secrets with everyone else, because we are all sitting on the edge of our seats waiting for that magical knowledge. I promise you. Now, if you don't find that unicorn of a daily routine, please know you're not alone. This is, like I said, an iterative process. Start with identifying big blocks of time where you maybe aren't using your time wisely, or not to the most efficiency. You know, those moments when you find yourself scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and you realize you've been leaning against the kitchen cabinet for about 15 minutes doing that. Those 15 minutes you could have been reaching out to potential clients, building relationships in your community, or clarifying your message for your business. So start noticing. That's really the first step. That's in fact what I'm going to ask you to do for your action item this week, is to notice the time kind of in the in-between where you're not in the car line or driving to car line or fixing dinner or preparing for bed or doing your workout. It's that time in between where we fill it, but not necessarily with actions that will help us move forward. Now, before you panic and say, but I scroll Instagram for 15 minutes because it's how I unwind some days. I'm not asking you to give up your scroll of Instagram for those 15 minutes when you're unwinding. I'm asking you to maybe consider using the other times that you're scrolling Instagram or Facebook and find a better use for that time. I also would encourage you to notice, and this is something I do myself personally, if you're scrolling Instagram to relax, ask yourself what it's actually doing for you. How is it making you feel? How is it impacting your breathing, your movement, your mindset? Because it's quite possible that what you think is relaxing makes your brain whir a little bit differently. It's not actually soothing to your body and mind and soul. Now, if you're watching funny golden retriever videos, now the story might be completely different. Those make me laugh. I love those. It makes me realize that my silly, overactive golden retriever is actually kind of normal. So if you're scrolling Instagram and watching those funny golden retriever videos, yeah, maybe it is relaxing. If you are getting drawn into everyone's drama or posts or comments, maybe not so much. Okay. So the idea here is really to find a routine, a rhythm that's going to serve you in your business, that's going to allow you the opportunity to not just make a micro decision each day for your business, but to implement that decision. Remember, micro decisions are small. That micro decision might be to post one video that you found life transforming, or maybe it is that one decision that has you recording a 30-second snippet for your potential clients. Perhaps it is sending that email to reach out to a mentor. And we're going to talk about mentors and peers next week as stage 3 of the journey. But let's stay focused on stage 2, the daily rhythm. The key is to be able to implement those micro decisions each day. That's the key. And to still have time for self-care, to have time for the things that bring you joy in your life, that allow you to build hobbies into your life. I know some of you are laughing because you haven't had a hobby in years. Let's imagine that future, that vision that you created last week that includes hobbies. Okay. So the goal here, I want you to repeat after me. I have a flexible, functioning daily routine in place that incorporates self-care and business decision-making along with action taking. I'm going to say that one more time for you because this is critical. I have a flexible, functioning daily routine in place that incorporates self-care and business decision-making and allows for action taking. What do you think about that? Can you imagine your day when you have an actual rhythm to it? One that is not chaotic or overwhelming or haphazard. You're sitting down, you're ready to work, you know exactly what you're going to do, and you implement it. So your action item this week is going to be fairly simple. I'm not going to ask you to create that rhythm this week. What I'm actually going to ask you to do is to focus on being observant through the week. I want you to really start noticing the time in between the big things that could actually be really great opportunities for you to take action in your business. I'm going to assume that most of you have a very busy life. So we have to look for those snippets of time. Now, if you find yourself having bigger snatches of time, that's awesome. Notice where those are, and you might take it a step further this week and actually create your daily routine or rhythm and see how it works. Start making adjustments, because the sooner you get something in place and start adjusting, the sooner you get to something that works. And then something will shift. If you talk to Julie, she'll tell you, and then everything shifted. I got more clients and everything shifted. But the more you do this, the more times you make those shifts, the easier it gets, because you know what works and what doesn't for you. So that's it. This week, if you are super busy, I want you to notice the times that kind of fall in between. Notice where they are and how you could use them differently for your business. And if you have the bigger snatches of time, go ahead and take it a step further. notice them, and then start creating your daily rhythm, implementing it, giving it a whirl, and making adjustments. So how are you feeling now with that in mind? We've now had an opportunity to make a few micro decisions. Last week, it was about making the micro decision to create your vision. Now, chances are you're still refining that. This is going to be an iterative process. This week, I asked you to make the micro decision to start noticing the time you have in your day that you could devote to your business, to put into action any decisions that you have made. The idea here throughout our whole series is to make micro decisions and put them into action every single day in your business. The other idea is to make sure you're following a blueprint, because that's going to help you stay on track. It's going to help you keep moving forward and keep you from getting stuck, or if you do get stuck, to get unstuck, because you will know what the next stage in your journey is. Or if you need to take a step back, where you're stepping back to in that journey so that you can begin moving forward again. All right. I am so excited that you're here with me. And if you have not yet had a chance to take the Coaching Hive Blueprint Assessment, I would love to invite you to do that. It's going to give you a sneak peek into the upcoming stages, but even more importantly, what's going to happen is if you go to coachinghive.com/assessment, take that assessment, submit your results, your answers. You're going to get a report pretty quickly, but then what I'm going to do, this is my promise to you, my commitment to you, is that I'm going to look at your results and I'm going to send you an email and say, hey, I've had a chance to review those results and I'd love to sit down with you. This is not an automated email that you're getting, so please know it may take me 24 to 48 hours to get back to you. Look for that email with the invitation to schedule a 15-minute call. This is all about the two of us sitting down, talking about your business. It is about helping you to make a micro decision about where to focus your attention and energy next in your business so that you can keep moving forward. I don't know about you, but I love this concept of putting things into action, knowing what steps to take next, and following a blueprint. It makes things simpler. And I am looking forward to continue walking through these concepts of micro decisions and the blueprint with you over the next few weeks. If at any point you are sitting in your chair, you're taking a walk, you've got your earbuds in and you're listening and thinking to yourself, oh, this sounds great, but I don't know that I can do this on my own, I'm here. DM me on Instagram @CoachingHive, and we can talk about the options that are available to help you keep moving forward. We'll talk about what fits your needs. And as always, I want to thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. And a shameless ask, if you got something out of today's podcast episode, please rate and leave a review. I love seeing those reviews. I look at them. It helps me plan future content, know how to better serve you. And of course, it lets me know that you're listening and building that coaching business of your dreams. If you feel so compelled, I would love for you to share with a fellow coach this podcast. You can do it really easily. Just keep it simple. Snap a screenshot on your phone when you've got this podcast playing and post that picture to Instagram stories or Facebook stories and tag me. If you're tagging me on Instagram, that's going to be @CoachingHive. If you are tagging me on Facebook, @CoachingHiveLife. That's all for now. I look forward to seeing you back here next week for another episode of the Coaching Hive podcast, where a focus on mentoring and community removes the overwhelm of building your successful coaching business and adds in a dose of momentum. Until next time, have a healthy, safe, and happy week.